Giannis said LeBron James is the #1 all time, setting the blueprint for other NBA superstars. Giannis said some guys might say he's #2, but other guys like me say he's #1. For 21 years, you never get in trouble, to be able to take his family, protect his family, raise his kid the right way, be happily married, all those things. It's perfect. It's kind of like setting a blueprint for the rest of us to come forward. Now, I think Giannis, who's first or second best player currently playing, say LeBron James is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of current guys say it's Jordan or they say it's Kobe, and that's well within their right. I ain't here to debate. That's your opinion. I think it's LeBron. But what do you take away? What's your takeaway from what Giannis said?
Listen, I like what Giannis said. And when there's a standard that's set, or there's a way to gauge someone you would like to be, or someone that represents not just the NBA shield to the highest of its highest order, but someone that represents being a father, being a husband, doing everything the right way.
Yeah.
Someone that had, I would think, probably the most expectations on their plate coming out of high school is LeBron King James. He has the tattoo of chosen for a reason. And for him to be able to live up to that with all the pressures and all that entails speaks volumes to this day. So some people's preference will be Jordan. Some people's preference will be Kobe. I'm not sure who else is in the discussion as being the best of all time. But listen, what LeBron has been able to do since day one, since he stepped foot on the court, 21 years later, it's respectable and it's commendable. And it's hard. How do you argue that? How do you argue the fact? Because the facts are right there.
The thing is, I think even though he had these high expectations, I think by everybody's estimations, he's exceeded no matter what you thought he could or couldn't become. He's exceeded your expectations.
Yeah.
And so for him to do it the way he has and to play at the level that he has, and the criticism, because the social media is a different animal. Because everybody now is a GM. Everybody now is a former NBA player.
Yeah.
Everybody now is a head coach. And so now you got a platform. I've got a platform. 500 million, a billion people have platforms to voice their opinion of what they think a certain player is or isn't. And so for him to withstand that onslaught, and a lot of people have taken unnecessary shots at him, but for him to block the noise out, and because sometimes the noise can become deafening.
Yeah.
For him to do it his way and to surround himself, because a lot of times, I don't know who his father figure was in his life. I think his mama, Gloria Glow, did an unbelievable job, because think about it. He didn't go to college. So he didn't have a Dean Smith, Coach Smith, or he didn't have a Coach John Thompson, or he didn't have a Coach Boeheim, or he didn't have a Coach K. And if you think about it, he didn't have one of these, a Coach Auerbach or Phil Jackson, or one of these great coaches. This him figured it out on his own. You're drafted at 18, turns 19, and think about it. He says, you know what? I just think, and surrounds himself with people that say, you know what? We don't want a handout. We just want the opportunity. Look what Rich Paul became. Look what Maverick Carter became. Look at what Randy Mills became.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Yes.
And this is a testament to where I was trying to guide you and take you a little bit. And I'm not going to preach to you today, but I want you to listen to everything that you just said. But you're leaving one important fact out. We talk about LeBron. No. Stay with me now. We talk about LeBron and the pressures that he's had to face and the noise that's been deafening throughout his life. You talked about Gloria and the job that she's done, saying that he's never had the coaches that have inspired you throughout life and kept you on the right track. But there's one piece that was always in place. That was always in place to make sure, regardless of what was going on the outside, once he went home to peace. Someone that kept him in line, and that was Savannah. And that is something that I've always told you, and I will tell everybody else that's out there listening, and the credit and where it should go. Not just Jane, but sometimes when you have a woman's touch and a woman's guidance and a woman's vision, you might know where you want to go. but there's one person that knows how to open that door and close it behind you to make sure you reach whatever that end goal may be. And what she was able to do for him, it speaks volumes on why he's been able to sustain what he's done for such a very long time. Outside of the work he's had to put in, obviously, yes, but it all comes down to having that centerpiece to keep that entire household together. And she's the one. That's why I'm trying to get. I'm not done with you yet.
But everybody's not wired like Savannah. She said her job was to be a wife, make sure her husband was straight, and raise a family. You know, sometimes like I want my own, I want to do that. And it's kind of hard when you're married to a professional athlete because he's going to be so demanding of your time.
Right.
And so for her to say, you know what, okay, I'm going to push you to the front. I'll stand back. I'm going to because it's hard when you like a LeBron or you date or married to a Tom Brady or you married to one of these historically iconic. They are very selfish. The greater the player, the greater the ego. And the greater his time restraints are to film study and his body and doing all these things and to grow. And so a lot of the recitals and the practices and the taking to school and in the carpool lane, he ain't in there. Savannah's doing that. And she's okay with that. Sometimes one can become envious. Well, when do I get a break? When are you going to take him to the school? When are you going to go to recital? When are you going to go to ballet? When are you going to do this? But I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I know who she is. I've never spoken to the woman. I know Bron had a couple of conversations with, but I'm sure it's not easy because you do. I mean, hey, sometimes I'm like, man, hell, I wish I could take a day off and not get up and have to go to work.
Right.
But it's a 365, 24/7.
Yeah, 365. Listen, most definitely. And listen, it's difficult. I know it is, but again, there's a reason why he set the blueprint. Not just as a basketball player, but as a father and as a husband.
Oh man, it's unbelievable.
It need to be studied.
Ocho, for me, Ocho, if I had it to do over again, if I could go back, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start as a freshman in high school.
Yes, sir.
And instead of being a class clown and bull jobbing around, I'm gonna do my work. Now, even if I said, okay, I want to go back and I'm gonna go back to Savannah State.
Yes, sir.
I would have like been able to say no and not, oh, Shannon, you got this great body. Ooh, you fine. I want to talk to you, blah, 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 and run with it. I'd have got me one woman.
Yes, sir.
I'd have settled my you-know-what down. It'll probably save me about $4-5 million, but that's neither here nor there. I probably would have. Now, I don't regret, my kids love them. They're great. They forced me to become even more regimented, more disciplined, more determined, more dedicated because I ain't just worried about Granny. I got my own responsibilities outside of Granny, outside of my mom and my sister. Although I know my brother is a dual deal with my brother that's helping my mom and my grandmother, my sister. Now I got responsibility that's not his responsibility. Right. Or it's not our responsibility together. So that's probably of all the things, it's not, of all the things, I wish I had gotten married earlier.
But you know what? You know what the great thing about life is? The great thing about life is some people never graduate from high school. Some people never graduate from college. But something hits them in life, and regardless of age, you can go back and get your degree.
Yeah.
Whether it's high school, and you can go back.
So you want me to go back and get a wife?
Listen, that's gonna be my end goal as a part of this show. No matter what we talk about, no matter what we do, the ups and the downs, at the end of the day, my sole goal is to find your woman because I can't wait. And all I'm gonna say is I told you so at the wedding. I'm gonna get up and say I have a toast, and the toast is gonna be I told you so.
Well, I hope it's butter and jelly on that toast because that's the only toast you're gonna be giving to me.